Hello, congratulations on being first. Yvonne hates injustice, and hello to you. How are you? Are you hydrated? Are you sat comfortably? Have you been for a wee? Have you got snacks? Have you got the facility to do all of those things while you are still watching? Just checking, because it's really important. Anyone else out there to say hello to? Please drop a hi in the chat. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. None of us bite. We are nice people. I promise we are nice people. Good evening from the UK. It is Friday. We made it through the week, everyone. We got to Friday, which is just amazing this week. I didn't think I would make it. I've got to be honest. Excellent stuff, Yvonne. Yvonne is hydrated and has her snacks and everything else, which is awesome. You always come prepared. I love it. Hold on. I've lost a. Oh, there it is. Excellent. Hey, Rick, how you doing? Good to see you. Sorry, I am to sort out my layout. Step away for 2 seconds and goes to pop. There we go. Sorry, I was prepared. I was all prepared and everything. Oops. It's always the way. Stream Elements is running. Hello, Stream Elements. Doing a good job as usual. I think I've sorted out my settings on that, and it should pop up with some bits and pieces. But Stream Elements, I have set up some new doofers, which is quite exciting. If I can find Stream Elements. Seriously, I do know what I'm doing, I promise. I don't. I haven't got a clue. Why haven't you logged me in? There we go. I promise I will get my stuff together. I promise, I promise. How's your week been, everyone? Are you enjoying? Have you had a good week? Have you had a bad week? Thank you very much for bearing with me. I love the fact that you are quite quite comfortable with me being a bit of a mess. I love it. So I've set up a few commands. If you type in the chat an exclamation mark followed by donate, it will bring up all of my tip links. If you press if you put an exclamation mark and social, it will bring up my social media links. And if you type exclamation mark love, it will tell you how in love you are with one of the other people in the chat, just so that you know. And as you use them, other people will use them, which is really nice. Right. So should we get on with things? Should we talk about outer wisdom? What is your understanding right now of outer wisdom? If you're watching on the replay, pop a comment in the comment section, and then we're going to reply to it later on in the video with if that's changed or not. Yay! Thank you for checking it out, Yvonne. That brings up my threads and something else. I can't remember what the other one was that I put on there. Um, I am really sorry that you have had a sore week, my love. I hope that you're feeling better. I hope that you're doing okay with it. It's hard, isn't it? Um, so yeah, so what is your understanding of hey Ida. Ida is in the house. That is fantastic. Great to see you, sweetheart. I hope you're well too. Um yeah. Let me know what your because it's more of a discussion. I don't want to lecture people on it. I want to help you find what is right for you. When I work with someone, when I do coaching and things like that, um, it's about finding what works for the person I'm working with, because one size fits all doesn't work, right? Because we're not all one size. We come in different shapes and sizes and different walks of life. So it's about finding the right path for you. Um, and that's a big part of coaching people, is helping them find their own potential and their own inner wisdom and their own way of finding outer wisdom. And I think it's really important to do it that way. Um, yeah, I am just on. I've been on about 6 minutes. You haven't missed much because I spent a bit of time faffing around with the new settings. Um, and because of you, I now have an alert on the side of my screen, in case anyone does send a tip. I'm sorry you won't be able to chat, but I'm really glad you're here listening in and lurking, because you lurk really well. Are we tucked in your pocket again this week? Um, we like being tucked in your pocket. No, no. Mummy's working. No, mummy is working. No, you are not getting on camera. Why? Because this is going to be on the internet forever. So I don't want you on camera. Daddy is downstairs. I wanted a hug from you. Bear with me, just very briefly. How to explain to a 5-year-old, I don't want her on camera. Right, sorry about that. I am very happy to be in your pocket again. Thank you. The joy of having kids, the joy. I love my kids, I really do, but there are times where it's like, just go to bed, just go to bed. So yes, do you have any understanding of outer wisdom, or what we're talking about here? It's really important that I get kind of a baseline from you all. Because again, that's something I do when I work one-on-one with people. It's kind of, okay, what's your understanding of it? We need to know where we're starting from to be able to move forward. Oh yeah, I've got 2. Well done you for having 4. My word, you are a hero. Um, Oh, thank you very much, Ida, to reminding people to hit the thumbs up. The thumbs up doesn't do anything for my stats on the back end. It doesn't do anything for YouTube, but it does show other viewers that you're enjoying the content, and it shows me that you're getting value out of what I'm doing so far. And I promise 9 minutes in, we're going to get to that value. I promise. So I'm going to share my screen. This was the thumbnail from today, what do you get from this thumbnail? What are you seeing in this thumbnail, other than the fact that it looks very similar to what's behind me? I hate the delay. Um, you can always count on Yvonne. You can always count on Yvonne. She's amazing. Study, yeah, okay. There's definitely some studying going on there, isn't there? What else? Anything leaping out at you or not? Shall I just get to my point? Right. Open to learn. Yep. Creativity. Yep. Absolutely. Uh, oh, Ida. Sorry, I'm on my phone, but with no glasses. But I see books. Yeah, books. Definitely. There's a few things that you might not kind of notice because it's not your stuff, if you see what I mean. So in this picture, I have, if I bring up, I don't know whether you can see my cursor. But if you look in bottom left is this. That's my dad's medals. It's his miniatures from it's the miniatures to all of the combat he was in. And underneath that on the shelf, I've got two little pigs here. It's a salt and pepper shaker. No, I love pigs. Pigs are my favorite. I love pigs. But these came from my nan's house. They were my grandmother's. In the plant pot, which does actually have plants in it. It's got little succulents in it, but it's got lots of little things that my other half made. He's a blacksmith, and he let's get these out. He made a small hammer and small screwdriver to go in the floral arrangement for my dad's funeral. It's the wisdom of others, wisdom of my dad. Sometimes kind of, I know I do it. I think most people do. When there's been someone in your life, you know, you catch yourself going, oh, what would so and so do? Or, you know, I could do with that person being here. It's the wisdom of others. Yes, we've got lots of books of all sorts of types. So there's psychology books, there's books on spirituality and religion. There's books on what else have I got going on? I've got some Terry Pratchett there because let's face it, Terry Pratchett was the wisest of us all. I have, I've got two of his kind of philosophy books. This is absolutely brilliant. You screen's backwards, idiot. So it's the philosophy and Terry Pratchett, and it's lots of his quotes and how they can be applied to us. There's also, I've got a book of his philosophy, and it's under sections. But what I tend to do is, a bit like people do with the Bible and other things, I tend to flick through it and just pick a page because there's always something to learn from him, as always. Um, Yep. So your mum and second mum are people that you think about for their wisdom, um, which is fantastic. And it doesn't have to be a blood relative. It can be a chosen family. It could be friends. It could be someone at work. It could be someone like me, that you turn to and kind of look for that outer wisdom for someone else who is a little bit removed from the situation to give you advice. Um, but it's also accumulating this knowledge. It's about being open to learning, um, so that you're constantly gaining that outer wisdom. I've spoken about learning. I am a big fan of continuing education in your own way, and YouTube is an amazing place to do that. The University of YouTube is pretty damn good. There aren't that many people that let us down. I'm gonna bring myself back up and remove my shared screen. So that's kind of one kind of outer wisdom. One kind is learning, one kind is looking to family, and this way, kind of people who have passed. Um, all of those are really valuable, but there are other kinds of outer wisdom. I love learning. We learn things every day. Absolutely. And that's kind of where I'm going with the rest of this, is outer wisdom can come to us at any time. It's whether we're open to seeing it, to absorbing it. Now, most of the time, we learn things, as Yvonne says, we learn things every day, all day, every day. We're not conscious of it. Our brains take it in and file it away, but we're not conscious. We're not active or proactive in that situation, in that process. And outer wisdom is kind of having the inner wisdom enough to know that you don't know everything. And that's okay. And then opening yourself up and being very conscious of that, to seeing those lessons as they happen, really taking that moment in, and using that straight away, being an active participant in taking that wisdom in, whether that's really being attentive and in the moment when we have this kind of conversation, or just being aware of it when we're out and about and we're talking and we're interacting with people. And that wisdom can come from just a standard interaction. You're in a store or a supermarket, something like that, and you have a nice interaction, and someone uses a phrase that is interesting and it makes you think, and maybe it's something new. Actively test that on the next person and make them smile. Test that on yourself. Hold on. Oh, Steve's here. Uh-oh. Hey, Steve, how you doing? That's brilliant. I love having Steve here. Although, just to warn you, the chat may not now be safe for work. Just putting it out there. Steve is hilarious. Sometimes a bit sweary. Or crude. Either way, intelligent and worth listening to. And that's another part of it. When you meet someone who forces you to learn, whether that's through debate, through active conversation, someone who is smart, someone who knows a lot of random facts, or is really keen on an interest, those are the people that are going to give us that wisdom. If you have someone who is into social history or history in general, you are going to learn from that person valid lessons for today. Um, uh, it's a loopy miracle. Can we have some hearts in the chat for loopy miracle? Can't really listen and chat currently, but doing that. Have you in my pocket while you live stream. I love that you are here. I love the fact that we're in your pocket and in Ida Think So's pocket. It is my favorite place to be. Um, but yes, lots and lots of hearts for Loopy Miracle. I love the fact that she's caught us live today. Um, mm, mm, mm. Right. Let's pop this one up on the screen. Outer wisdom is best used to help others and aid their lives in unexpected ways. Uh, The amazing thing, when we're all receptive to this outer wisdom, these things that happen all day, every day, when we're active in taking those in, we are making our lives better. We're improving ourselves, we're improving our quality of life, but we're also passing that on. Um, excuse me. And I think you're right, and this sounds so arrogant, but it's why I do what I do. Why I coach people one-on-one and why I do this on YouTube is I really wanna help other people. I wanna give other people the support, the outer wisdom, the confidence to trust their own inner wisdom, all of those things, excuse me, because I didn't have that for so long. I don't want anyone to go alone. Look at those hearts coming in. I'm here physically, but my mind is on D&D right now. I get it. I I get it, Dingo. I mean, I'm not offended that you're choosing to concentrate on D&D and not me. Ouch. But I get it. It's fine. Um, Yvonne says, taught myself and my kids to have an open mind. We all learn then. Yeah, it's being active and conscious of that learning, and looking for ways um, to learn a lesson from something. And in the simplest form, you know, you trip over a brick in your garden. What have you learned from that? How can you turn that into either an action to stop that from happening again or an action to avoid that in the future in other situations? And it's something that kids do all of the time, and we forget that as adults. Um, Yeah, I mean, inner wisdom is definitely about actively learning and improving, but it's also about trusting yourself. We all have the answers to most of life's problems, but we get overwhelmed and can't hear that inner wisdom. Which is again sometimes why you need to go to a friend and explain the situation and get a friend, family member, whoever to help you and guide you through that because it's just too noisy in here. Um, mm, mm, mm. Rick says having an open mind is really important. I believe so. I am 100% there with you. You have accident prone on your medical notes. Me too. Um, yes, sensei. I'm not trying to be a sensei, and I'm certainly not saying that I have it all worked out because no one does. No one does. If anyone ever says they're an expert in something, unless they have been certified an expert by a governing body or a court of law, you know, I don't trust anyone who says they're an expert. YouTube experts, don't trust them if they say they're an expert or a guru. Ugh. Um, um, because we're all learning. Like my grandfather was he was a master carpenter, and he was very proud. He made some beautiful, beautiful things, but he was the first to say he was still learning. Um, you know, I think it's really important to remember that there is always something to learn. Um, yeah. Ida says, "I'm an expert in crazy." Um, I think we're all experts in our own lives. That's why lived experience is so important, because we are experts in what that feels like. There is no way for me to fully understand who you are as a person, who any of you are as people, because I'm not you. I can empathize, I can have compassion, I can understand on an intellectual level, I can understand on an emotional level, but there is always gonna be that tiny disconnect because I am not you. Um, mm. And there is nothing wrong with being just a little bit, out there. Who wants to conform? Loopy Miracle says hello to Yvonne and Steve. It's so nice to see you guys chatting. Um, yeah, chaos, as Steve says, chaos is a great active learning environment. It is. But controlled chaos, not overwhelming chaos. And there is nothing wrong with a bit of chaos and just accepting, because with inner wisdom and outer wisdom, we have to understand that that also comes with the caveat of not everything is under our control, as scary as that idea is. And we kind of have to punch fear in the face and go with the chaos sometimes. So yeah. So excuse me. So outer wisdom comes from everywhere. We've got to be aware, and we've got to be opening our mind to it. And that is not crazy kind of out there spiritualism or anything. It's not, the universe talking to us. It's not about looking for patterns where there aren't patterns. And the problem we have as humans, our brains are wired to look for patterns. Our brains are wired to find meaning, find answers. So it's about being aware of what you're taking in, and asking yourself occasionally, "Am I looking for meaning where there isn't meaning?" Um, do, do, do. Loopy says, "Hello to Ida Think So and Rick." Um, Yvonne says, "Yes, Steve, our lives have been chaotic. Anything and everything has happened to us. Yeah. But every single one of those things has made you you. Everything single one of those things has taught you the lessons to bring you to where you are now. Um, and you are very much amongst friends in a safe space, loved, um, looking and sounding good, Craftalistical. Thank you. Are you flirting with me?" Rick says hi to Loopy Miracle. Yeah, it's not about ascribing meaning to something that is completely meaningless. I've had friends that have kind of gone, "Oh, a blackbird landed on my fence earlier, and that means, X, Y, and Z." Blackbird's looking for worms. It's beautiful. It's nature at its best. Not sure the blackbird has been sent from wherever. Having said that, after my granddad died, I started seeing, get ready to chuckle, Steve, blue tits in my garden. Never had blue tits before, but the day after my granddad died, we started getting just a whole host of blue tits in the garden, which was lovely. Um, love chaos when I'm causing it. Yes, you do, and it's part of what makes you wonderful. Um, uh, Ida thinks so, says, "Hello, Gina." Um, yeah, and coming into that spiritual side of things, um, outer wisdom and religion go together. People who are religious are looking for answers, essentially. They're looking to their deity for answers. Um, but it reminds me of a parable. And again, it comes from The West Wing. I highly recommend watching The West Wing. That's where a lot of my outer wisdom has come from over the years, and I can rewatch it over and over. It's like going home to family, but still a rollercoaster ride of emotions. There are still moments where the hair stands up on my arms, or I get goosebumps, or shivers. Um, but there's a moment where President Bartlett, has his, childhood priest come to the White House and sit with him over an awful decision that he has made. Um, and he's asked if he prayed, and Jed Bartlett says, "Yeah, I have prayed, and I've always prayed, and I've never had an answer, and I'm kind of pissed about that." And the priest says to him, "You're like the man in the flood. There's a man in his house. He's just doing his normal thing, and there's a radio announcement saying that there is a flood on the way. And the man thinks to himself, I'm religious, I pray, God loves me, I'll be fine. He will protect me. Well, the flood comes and it covers the entirety of the bottom of his house. And he's there on the top floor with a window open, and a guy rows past in a rowboat, and he says, "Hey, you in there, jump down, get in my rowboat, and I'll take you to safety." And the man says, "I'm religious. I pray. God loves me. He will save me." The flood gets worse and worse, and he ends up on his roof. And a helicopter comes, and they call down, "You down there, climb the ladder. We're going to take you to safety." And the man calls back, "I'm religious. I pray. God loves me. He will save me." Well, the man dies, and he gets to heaven, and he is angry, and he demands an audience with God. He meets Saint Peter at the gates, and he demands this audience, and Saint Peter takes him to God, and he says to God, "I'm religious, I pray, I believe in you. Why didn't you save me?" And God says to him, "I sent you a radio announcement, a man in a rowboat, and some guys in a helicopter. What are you doing here?" And that's always been really, really powerful for me, because we have to be receptive, and we have to understand that there is wisdom out there, whether we're relying on the answer to magically appear in our lap, or we're hoping that there's going to be some kind of intervention, divine or otherwise. We have to be aware of the fact that that can color our intentions, that can, um, change the way we perceive things. Um let's have a look. I'm just gonna catch up on chats. More of us need to be nice, then maybe it's easier to take a compliment. I'm glad you received the compliment. Um, yes, so I will do at some point a live or a video on why compliments are so rough for us to take. But I do take the compliment, and I love you for it. Mwah. Um Gina, it's absolutely okay to be on the replay crew or watch as and when. Don't feel, you know, you have to be here. Um, Steve, yeah, not understanding that God works through others. And this is, again, there was a really powerful speech in the House of Congress about guns. Now, I don't want this to get political, but, all of these people saying, "No, it's our God-given right to have guns," and someone else standing up and saying, "You're not listening to God. God has sent you these people who have come here to say guns are a problem. He's sent you, people who use guns in terrible ways to teach us that lesson, and we're not listening." Um, and I think, you know, regardless of your religious beliefs, and this isn't an attack on anyone, I think understanding that these messages come to us if we're open to receiving them. Um, yeah, in that parable, God tried to save him and he didn't listen. He was waiting for this divine teleporter direct from God rather than, um, understanding that if you believe in God, God works in mysterious ways. He works through, us and those around us. Hey, PC Tech in the house. Hi, Craftalytical, dropping in to say hi before I begin DMing the a D&D session. Oh, am I clashing with your D&D? Do I need to change the time of my stream, to earlier or later? How is the time of day working for people, by the way? Just as a quick aside. Stay also we're social creatures and have developed a need to look to each other for aid. Yeah, we have. And to a certain extent, we've kind of lost that. Um, my generation, which I was informed this week is old, um, our parents lied to us. It was the worst lie that we could ever have been told. We were told that, or we were shown that as an adult, you have everything together and, there's no money problems and everything else because of this facade that our parents put out there. Um, and we were waiting for this magic moment at some point in early adulthood where, ding, we had all of it together. And that is not what life is. I didn't find out until they were dead that actually they had nothing together. I mean, I worked this out as an adult, but it's this terrible lie, and you know, thank goodness the next generation after us kind of had a bit of a better understanding of that. Yeah, I understand that you're pre-recording it, but, I'd like you guys to be able to be here, and if you're busy doing stuff for your channel and that kind of thing, I am happy to alter what I'm doing. I wanna fit around our community. Um, Loopy Miracle, I tried to tell myself that you, never know when you might even be talking to an angel. People in your life may be seasonal or for full lifetime. Sorry, can't read. Um, we're all important in one way or another. And I truly believe that as well, Gina. Everyone comes into your life for a reason, whether it is for a short period of time or a long period of time. We all learn from those interactions. We all learn from the mistakes of others. And that's another type of outer wisdom is kind of um what listening, watching, taking in what's happening to other people and learning from their mistakes and learning from what they do and how they do it. Um And sometimes that lesson is how not to do things, and that's just as valuable. Um, I do think so. Please don't change your time. I'll get confused. Um, it's all right, Ida. We'll guide you through it. Um, Yvonne says, I struggled, and the kids also. Oh, yeah, no, you taught them how to budget because you were struggling. And this is just it. Being honest with our kids, with people around us, allows us to not only cope more easily with a terrible situation, but also teaches them valuable lessons early on in life, and gives them the, learn by doing, but also learn by seeing and taking in. And it's probably made them more empathetic and compassionate as well. Um, no need to no need to alter time. We can always watch on catch up. That's really sweet. But I like you being here. I like the chat happening. Um, yeah. And it's about being able to, in the moment when something bad is happening or when we're having those interactions that are how not to do things, is to be aware of that, be open to learning that lesson. The problem we have is, or how modern society is going, and I see this all of the time with the research and everything else I do. People don't want to admit they were wrong, and then they double down and get themselves into more grief, and they become miserable, absolutely miserable. And one of the most powerful things we can do is admit we don't know something or we were wrong, um, and be open to change. And this is the other part. This is the last part, really, of outer wisdom, is being able to be aware of those lessons, take those in and process them, and then turn that into active change. Now, it might be that that outer wisdom reaffirms and you kind of commit to your position. But other times it's kind of, okay, well, I've learned from this. How can I turn that into a positive, or how can I bring that positivity into the way I'm doing things now? And again, this is something I do when I work with people one-to-one, is kind of, okay, what's that lesson taught you? And how can we incorporate this in the plan going forward? Um, Steve says, it also taught me not to see struggles as character flaws. Yeah. And again, this society lied to us. The Tories have lied to us. And basically all of this kind of blaming things on the other. This idea that people who can't make ends meet and need social security or state benefits, or it's their fault they're poor, or if they didn't buy that TV, or they're obviously not budgeting. And these are people that have never seen the struggle, never lived in the struggle, who are blaming people for their own situation. Sometimes we're born into poverty, sometimes we're made homeless. A marriage breakdown made me homeless. And that wasn't through quote unquote fault. It can happen at any time. And like I've said before, we are all one bad decision or one bad situation away from struggling. Um, and, talking about mental health is really important. Bringing people in and saying, hey, it is not your fault. You may have made bad decisions, but you are now trying to rectify that. And when we talk about addiction, the way people talk about addiction, and this is really prevalent at the moment with a Hunter Biden situation and how utterly badly he is being treated. Addiction can hit anyone. Anyone. There is a genetic component to it. And there is also a link to kind of grief and emotional strain, mental health problems, all of these other things. People turn to something to escape. I game. I'm playing Diablo 1 and loving it. But I am very aware of the fact that when I'm feeling low, I can lose days to a computer game. I'm very aware of that, and that can become an addiction. It can become a dangerous addiction. Um, and, you know, yes, no, very rarely, I'm gonna caveat that, very rarely does someone say, "You must take this thing." But, there are certain drugs that are instantly addictive. Meth, for instance, you are hooked from the first time you use it. Um, and sliding into, for someone like Hunter Biden, he lost his mum and his brother in difficult situations. He was possibly looking for escape and, the wrong kind of relationship. He needed to be close with someone, anyone. And he actually isolated himself in doing that. Addiction is a terrible thing. And we need to have more compassion for that rather than talking about people who slide into addiction as well, they did it to themselves. We need to look at that and go, okay, why did they do it to themselves and how do we help them out of it? How do we support them once they're in recovery? And showing his nude photos in a congressional hearing, not the way to support someone through recovery. Um, uh, Sorry, just catching up on chat. Yvonne, games or sleep? Yeah. Um, I absolutely, a lot of people with any kind of mental health issue can escape into sleep. Sleep is the only time you don't feel like desperately sad, or overwhelmed. And sleep can become addictive. And that has health issues that come with it. Too much sleep is actually really bad for us. Loopy Miracle says there's another topic, addicted to. Um, is that something you want me to talk about, Gina? Kind of addiction and different types of addiction? Elaborate on that because I would like to know. Um, oh, not math. Not math, Steve. Math. And I also got a D. I retook my GCSE in maths and got a C. Um, uh, Yvonne says it's self-medicating that gets out of control. Absolutely. Absolutely, it does. And again, that's not someone who slowly slides into addiction in, and they have a drink and then, that becomes 2 drinks and then, slippery slope over a period of years. This is someone who is looking to escape, looking to self-medicate. Absolutely. Um, I don't think so. I'm on my butt just now, but been worse. If so, I'm still happy. I think sometimes we have to hit rock bottom and build up. And I know I've done that. I've done that a few times. Um, and, sometimes you can be at your happiest when you know you're starting again. You can rebuild the way you want to this time. And I know that sounds sounds awful. And I'm not trying to say that anyone that is at rock bottom has an obligation to feel that way. If you are at rock bottom, by the way, in the description, there is information on how to reach out and get help in the US and in the UK. Please do. It takes a lot to pick up the phone. It takes a lot to search the internet, but please, please do. It is worth it. It is always worth it. You are worth investing in. And, become part of the community, join in the chat, find like-minded people who understand, who are compassionate and not judgmental. Um, Ida thinks so. Can get addicted to sleep. Yep, absolutely. Um, Rick says anything is addictive if you do something to excess. Yeah, it can be. And that's something that, people don't understand, and they aren't open to this idea that actually everything can be addictive. You know, the Netflix thing that comes up and says, "Are you still watching?" is there for a reason, because we can become addicted to a TV show or binge watching, whatever it is. We can become addicted to books. Um, you know, I'm kind of getting that way with live streaming and spending this time with you. I miss it. I miss it in the week. Um, and, that's possibly not so healthy. I mean, it's great because it means that I'm really inspired to do this every week and hopefully make this my full-time job, but possibly not healthy. Um Gina says, people usually think addicted to drugs or alcohol and gambling. But what about TV, gossip, etc.? Just about anything done too much can uh, and can't break the habit from. Yeah, yeah. And this is kind of part of the reason why people who enjoy controlling others ramp it up over a period of time. Um, and you know it's a compulsion, and a lot of things can be a compulsion, absolutely. And the reason people don't think of alcohol as addictive, what people think of as a someone who is addicted to alcohol is a rummy in a gutter, or someone who has to have a gulp of vodka to roll out of bed. And that's just not, that's an old-fashioned view of what alcohol addiction looks like. You can be addicted to alcohol when you don't drink at all for months and months and months and then binge drink. You can be addicted to alcohol if you just have a glass of something every night. You know, there are levels of addiction, and you know, there are so many misconceptions about addiction. Oh, I'm a social drinker. You might be a social drinker, but when you do drink, having 20 drinks in an evening is binge drinking. Like, but we've been trained to think it's okay to have a glass of wine every night with a meal, 'cause you've got it under control, it's only a glass. It's that kind of thing, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a drink if you wanna drink, I'm not trying to police you in any way, but there are different types of addiction that we should be talking about. Um, mm, uh, sorry, I'm just catching up on chats. Steve says, "We are good company, though." We are, and it's because of you. It is because of all of you who show up, who comment on the videos, who talk on live chat, and who get involved. You make this the community that it is, and I really uh, appreciate the fact that you are here, you are joining in the conversation, you're helping shape that conversation, but also you are showing anyone who watches this, like, there are 9 people watching, but there aren't 9 people commenting. So maybe there's someone lurking who needs to hear this and needs to see other people are going through it. Other people are seeking that outer wisdom, that guidance, that understanding. And this community is for you. Try joining in. I'm not trying to force anyone if you're not comfortable, but do join in because every voice is valid. I think so. When my mental health is low, I sleep. Yeah, it's escapism. Not only are you tired from all of those horrible chemicals pumping around your body, the anxiety and the stress, being overwhelmed and everything else, but in order to deal with that, you sleep. And it's avoidance and escapism. There is nothing wrong with listening to your body and having a nap, but once you get up, do a horrible job. Do a job that you've been putting off. Like, we've talked about this in motivation, make that phone call, whatever else, and then have another nap. There are ways of balancing your need for escape and kind of pulling yourself up out of the situation. And just on that note, I'm going to share another quote from The West Wing, obviously. It's Leo talking to Josh. Now, this hit me really, really hard. It's an episode about PTSD. And it is so well done. It is pretty much the only representation of what it's actually like to have PTSD and be trying to mask. And Josh kind of says, he's made a couple of comments about possibly having to lose his job because of the PTSD. And Leo's waiting for him outside of this meeting. And he says to him, hey, all the time I have a job. Now, Leo is a recovering alcoholic. And he says, Josh, all the time I've got a job, you've got a job. And Josh says, well, what if I can't handle it? And Leo tells him this parable. And he says, there's a guy in a hole. He's stuck there. He's fallen in this hole and he can't get out. And he's calling out to people that are passing by. And he sees his doctor. And he says, hey, doc, can you help me out of this hole? And the doctor writes him a prescription, throws it down the hole, and carries on about their day. And then he sees his priest and he says, hey, Father, can you help me? I am stuck down this hole. Please help me. And the priest prays for him and carries on walking. And then he sees his friends. Hey, Bill, can you help me? I'm stuck in this hole. And Bill goes, oh, no. Okay, yeah, sure. And he jumps in the hole. And this guy says, are you nuts? Now we're both stuck down here. And Bill says, it's okay. I've been down here before. I know the way out. Let me show you. And that is why lived experience and being part of a community and reaching out is so important. Because if I've not been through it, someone in the chat has. I can guarantee you someone has a similar experience. And if I've not been through it, I will research it. And I will talk about it and I will help you feel less alone. We will jump in that hole with you and show you the way out. And it is really important that you guys know that from my heart. Use the links in the description, get in touch with us, join in the chat because you are not alone. Right, I'm going to move on to the chat now. Steve, I tend to hyperfixate on things a lot. I get bored quickly. So there are two things that may be happening there. That's classic kind of ADHD fidgety. But yeah, when you are feeling the feelings, you feel the need to do something, but you can't concentrate on it because it's really noisy in here. And you can't escape that. You can escape it briefly when you first start doing something else, but then it starts creeping back in. My honest, be creative. Creativity is amazing for you mentally and physically. So being creative, let's say coloring or something like that, you're concentrating on color and depth and how hard you're pushing with the pen or the pencil, how deep the color is. Choose colors that call out to you, even if they clash. There's a reason why those colors are important to you in that moment. let your mind wander and concentrate on color choice and everything else, because that is allowing the back of your brain to work through whatever it is. But it also releases all of the good chemicals. Dopamine gives you all of those happy chemicals and everything else. My camera is just at a moment. But also it helps open the blood vessels, so you're getting more blood and oxygen to your brain and your other organs. It helps dissipate all of the adrenaline and everything else. Get creative. You don't have to be good. Don't worry about good. Good doesn't matter. If you just want to grab a crayon and do this on the page, do it. You can create some amazing art by not being quote unquote good. So yes. Sorry, just checking the chat again. Not quite sure what that's in response to, Yvonne. Sorry, not the case. But my parents held jobs and looked normal on the outside. Mine did too. And again, that comes down to our parents lying to us and keeping up with the Jones, which is something that we thankfully have kind of gone, don't don't care what my neighbor's doing. I need to put one foot in front of the other, and be honest with myself. Um, you were too social? Um Oh, thank you very much, Loopy Miracle. Yes, hit that like button, subscribe, share this with anyone you think might benefit from this information. That would be great. I've lost a bunch of people who were watching. Maybe my second parable did not hit well. Um, yeah, food and depression and mental health issues are a real issue. Some people overeat, some people don't eat at all. Um, and being aware of that and actively trying to address it in the best way you can. So if you feel like you can't eat, um, maybe a meal replacement drink, or something like a smoothie is going to help you take in just a few nutrients, and look after yourself without feeling like you're eating, um, but keeping up those calories so that, thinking and working out problems is exercise. It uses calories. So when we're depressed and there's something weighing heavy on us, we're using extra calories trying to deal with that. We're also pumping out adrenaline and all of these other horrible chemicals that also use calories. Um, and if you overeat, you know, one less square of chocolate is a step forward, one less cookie, whatever it is. Because I overeat, I don't feel hunger the way other people do. Very rarely do I get hungry. I don't get stomach pains or anything else like that. So I can go days without eating just because it doesn't bother me. And then when I'm feeling, down, unwell, when I'm dealing with pain, I tend to reach for food. And I don't even know why I do it, because I don't overly enjoy food. There's some things that I like, but yeah. Um, uh, Nothing bad I haven't been through, unfortunately. Yeah. I know, from what I know, you've been through a lot. And there is a wealth of knowledge of lived experience in this chat, which can help others and help us see things. Sometimes talking about our own situation helps us see and gain some insight. When you say something out loud, it makes it real and therefore easier to think about, because brains are weird. Um, Steve says, "I'm pretty sure I have ADHD, just not diagnosed. Um, but there's not much that can be done about it other than finding what works for you." Yeah, medication isn't for everyone, but fidget devices, white noise while you're trying to work, that kind of thing can really help. Um, mm, 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 mm. Yeah, my mum had those. My mum hated them. She really did. But she was prescribed meal replacement drinks because, she was just desperately frail. Freudian slip there. Especially towards the end, she just, you know, if it was cake, she was there like a shot, but she would not eat a meal. And, the home help had to sit with her and make her eat. Um or make sure she ate something. Um, but she was doing it on purpose because if she didn't eat a sandwich, they'd give her a piece of cake, just to get her to eat something. She was like like a toddler. Like my 5-year-old does that. Um, but there's a choice there, isn't there? And it's taking responsibility for your actions. And I'm pretty sure that my mum could have around longer if she had looked after herself a little bit better. Um, mm. Yeah, loopy. Sometimes I wonder how much the medications have suppressed my appetite or increased it at times. Some of the medication I'm on, um, messes with my appetite. Absolutely messes with my appetite, and pretty much everything in the kind of, the horrific leaflet that comes with your medication that tells you all of the bad things about it. All of them, every single one, cause weight gain. Um, but honestly, it's about the mirror test, isn't it? It's about how we feel about ourselves. I'd like to lose a little bit of weight, but mainly because I've got some really nice clothes that I don't quite fit in that I would like to more than anything else. Um, uh, it's about the mirror test. I spend a lot of time on camera and I'm very aware of my flaws, my physical flaws. Um, but embracing them and saying, I am and I'm okay is really powerful. Um, and having the inner wisdom to see that and work that out and make the change. If you're not happy about something, make that change. Um, and it's not easy. It isn't easy. I'm saying that like it's just change, work on it little bit at a time. I want to gain a little bit of weight. So I'm going to choose, you know, the meal that has the complex carbs or the long release energy and that kind of thing. I want to lose a little bit of weight. Okay, I'm going to choose the whole wheat option, or I'm going to choose the salad rather than the steak. I like steak. I love salad though. Salad I can overeat on. I can absolutely stuff myself silly on a salad. Maybe there's something wrong with me. Um, keep getting told that I am frail from by the hospital, but I have to tell them that I'm stronger than I look. Yes, Yvonne, you are. You are a warrior goddess, and they should know that by now. Um, oh yeah, when you're put on steroids. Steroids are terrible for eating habits. Uh, Yvonne, congratulations on putting on weight. Baby steps, baby steps. You're doing amazing. You really, really are. Um, we are so proud of you. We are honestly cheerleading you on. Can we have some hearts in the chat for Yvonne, who is just honestly a warrior. She is so amazing. Seriously, so proud of her. Sorry. Um, yeah, she is absolutely amazing. For some reason, yet again, my Stream Elements bot isn't talking to you, so I am going to put my links in the comments. Don't forget, while I'm thinking about this, if you're getting value out of this, if you're enjoying it, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel. Share it with people that you think will get something out of the content that I provide. I do work hard. It may not seem like it, but I do work hard on researching and putting a lot of effort into this. And as someone who has social anxiety, that's also part of the panic. So, use the links, get in touch on social media, share my work, any videos that really resonate with you, share them with friends that you think can do with the outer wisdom that I am trying to provide. Um, if you are able to and you want to, the links are in the comments for various different ways to tip. And there is a monthly subscription that you can put in via coffee. I also have one on PayPal, I think. But there's one there on coffee, that is, I think I've said it, 3 quid a month. All of any donations are gratefully received, and only do it if you can, if you want to, if you're getting value, if you wanna support in that way. But every penny goes towards things that I need to do for the channel, like the paid version of, you know, vidIQ. There is a link in the description for vidIQ. Um, if you click on that and go for vidIQ, I get a little bonus. Um, there's also links to various books that I think you might enjoy. The Body Keeps Score and one that Hob is reading, Love's Executioner. It's a really, really good read. Uh, is it still, yeah, it's backwards, isn't it? Irvin, um, Yalom is an amazing writer. He's written a few books that are, I think, really worth taking in. Um, uh, what else is down there? There's some other books as autobiographies and that kind of thing. There's an Audible subscription. You can get 1 month on me. All of those things, if you do buy, it doesn't cost you anything else. But I am an Amazon affiliate, so I may get a small commission on that. All of these are ways to support the channel. Um, oh, Zayden put hearts up for Yvonne, which is really nice. Loopy, Dingo, Rick, more Dingo. Dingo hearts you. I think he's flirting with you. Mm, mm. She says, "Well, 10 out of 10 for socializing with 8 people at once." Honestly, if we were in one room, I would be freaking out. More than 3 people in a room, including me, freaks me out, and I live in a house of 4 people and a dog and some rats. Yeah, yeah, seriously, more than 3 people in a room freaks me out. Absolutely freaks me out. I'm sorry you lost me for a bit. I hope I'm back. I hope I'm back. Um, mhm, sorry, I'm just having a look. Um, I'm just double checking, that I'm not missing chat or anything else like that. Nope, we're all good. Have you got questions about outer wisdom and where to look or how to use that out of, you know, outside of your self-wisdom? Um, Thank you, Gina, thank you for posting that. I am surrounded by incredible people, incredible supportive people, and I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. You make my life just so much better for being here. I'm just gonna put that out there into the ether. Um, yeah, if you have any questions or you're looking for any insight into something, now is your time. We'll do a little bit of a Q&A for kind of 15 minutes or so if you would like to. Of course, if no one has any questions, we can check in with Dingo and see how Gandalf the dog is doing. Um, I hope he's settling in really well, Dingo. He's gorgeous. Also, we need updated photographs. We've not seen a photograph of him for a little while, so definitely need to send those. Um, Sorry, I have too many tabs open. Uh, uh, Sorry, just checking some settings. There we go. Oh, Yvonne, thank you. I didn't say it to to get the compliment back, but I really appreciate that. The reason I am here is because I don't want anyone to feel the way I did. I I wouldn't wish that depth of loneliness and struggle on anyone, and I see my job to reach people who need a voice because they feel like they've lost theirs. They need someone else to be able to articulate how they're feeling, so that they know they're not alone. Um, I appreciate you too, Ida thinks so. Seriously, I am so blessed. I am so glad I took the leap to start this channel. I really am because, um, it's attracted I opened myself up and it's attracted all of these amazing people. Um, oh, Rick, that is one of the most amazing things I could hear. I feel at home here. Welcome home, Rick. Welcome home. Pull up a chair, grab a cup of tea, you know where the kettle is. You are home. My coffee's gone cold. Um, so if anyone wants to share anything, ask any questions, you know, reach out to other people in the chat. This is, I'm not gonna tell you it's a safe space because you have to feel that it's a safe space, but that is what I'm trying to do. Um, I am trying to create a space where people do feel at home or comfortable because this only works what I do only works when we're all open and we're all able to self-assess, you know, "What do I need right now? What do I need to hear right now? What outer wisdom do I need? Do I need guidance to find the answers for myself?" All of those things. Um, you know, we've gotta be open to that, and if you don't trust the person on the other side of the camera, you can't have that. The reason I don't do editing and flashy stuff is it's too clinical. It's all about the channel and not enough about you. You are the important one in this relationship. I am doing this to help you. Um, it needs to be raw, it needs to be genuine, you know? It's why I'm not afraid to show you that I don't know what I'm doing, and, you know, it's all a little bit raw. I'm getting better though. You know, I've got my little alert screen, and I've got, you know, I'm sharing my screen, and I've done audio, and, you know, I love my microphone. I love my microphone. It's really gay. I think that's why I like it is because, you know, it's all business with the black, and then it's got the rainbow colours. This microphone is me. Um It's not me because I am not all businesslike with black. I'm not. Um, Thank you very much, Gina. That is really, really kind. I do genuinely care. I do. I was once told that, I was too kind, I cared too much, and it was a genuine character flaw. And for years I struggled with that. That really stuck with me because of the PTSD. And it was really only recently that I was like, "F that," you know? Does it lead me to getting hurt? Yeah. Yeah, it does. Does it that make me a better person, a more empathetic, compassionate person? Yes. I Me being used by, I don't know, 1 person in every 20, that's not bad odds. Having that kindness abused by someone teaches me a lesson that I can then use to help other people. But I do genuinely care. Um, you love it being raw. I do too. I all of these there are some great channels out there that are very polished. But a lot of channels that are polished, especially with this kind of content, it feels clinical. Feels very closed off, and it feels like you're being lectured to. I've looked at a few videos over the years, and I'm like, I feel like you are telling me what should work, like one size fits all, you do this, magically it's all sorted, and it's just baloney, absolute hogwash, because one size doesn't fit all. It's why I went into the coaching side of things. You know, there's a lot I can do with this situation, and there's a lot that we can talk about and help each other with. But, you know, one size doesn't fit all. Yvonne, I got told that I'm too nice too. You are lovely, really are lovely, but I think you've got that balance because you've got a bit of snark. You really do. Um, has that led you to being, used? Yes. It has, but it's also led you to this point where you are surrounded by people who also genuinely care, who are also really kind, you know? It's the law of attraction. We find each other. It just takes a little bit of time. Um, mm, I'm just making sure that I haven't Um, haven't missed anything. Uh, yeah. I hope the D&D stuff is going well. I really do. I feel bad that we've kind of clashed. So I need to how is this time slot working in general? I know there's a D&D thing going on, but, how is this time on a Friday working for you? Would you like it a little bit later or a little bit earlier or on a different day, on a Sunday maybe? Um, you know, it's about you as a community. I wanna give you a chance to join in as often as possible, so let me know in the comments, you know, let me know in a DM, let me know here because, I am open to change. Uh, I think it says more about the users than me. I like being me. Exactly, exactly that. I look at my life and could I have made different choices? Absolutely, I could have done. But every single choice, bad or good, on my part, and every single person, bad or good, in my life has led me to this point. And I quite like where I am. I like who I am. Um, and regretting anything would be regretting a part of who I am now. And I can't bring myself to do that. I do look back and kinda go, "I could have dealt with that a lot better." But it's a learning process, right? We are all a work in progress, every single one of us. None of us is complete. And I think that's an important thing to keep hold of. It's okay to make mistakes because we are a work in progress. It's what you do with that mistake afterwards, it's what lessons you take from it. The mark of a person isn't who they are in good times, it's who they are in bad times, you know? How they deal with things, how they move forward, what they learn, what they help others with, what they pass on. Um, oh, Jen, thank you. It is an amazing community and, the fact that we share that community, you, me, Loopy Miracle, PC Tech Radio, Reality Review, Dingo's Girl, a couple of dingoes, pair of dingoes. I always get that wrong. We share an amazing community. The fact that they are so diverse in interests and geography and culture is amazing to me because the more diverse we are, the more we learn from each other and the closer we become. So absolutely that. Loopy Miracle, thinking stick with this time. Thank you very much. Um, Loopy Loopy, all of our daily lives fluctuate. Kudos for staying steady on creating streams. I know, right? I seriously thought by now there would have been some delay or, something that came up last minute. I did alter my stream last week to Sunday because I wasn't well on Friday. Well, I I'm too stretchy and things got trapped and it was horrible. Um, but, I would have thought by now this would have fallen over and it's purely about forcing myself to create this new habit and be proactive with it. Um, yeah, I'm quite pleased. I'm also quite pleased that, you know, because my streams are more regular, I'm getting you guys turning up, and we're getting people join us, which is really nice. Um, yeah, enjoying it. I really am. This is a great creative outlet and part of it's therapy for me as well. It's not entirely altruistic. Um, I get to talk about things that are bothering me. I force myself to find positives. It's great. Um, Aw, thank you very much for the heart, Sleepy Miracle, for all the hard work. Thank you. I do try. I do try. Anyone who says this YouTube thing is not a proper job, it's all I can say. So many hours go into this. It doesn't look like it, I know, but so many hours go into this, and it's great. It is really, really great. Oh, thank you very much, PC Tech Radio. PC Tech Radio has new a new channel. I am gonna share, um, PC Tech is doing something really, really amazing. Um, oh, Wally. Not you, PC Tech me. Sorry. He's doing something really amazing, but he's a Wally. No, I didn't mean that. I'm so sorry that that came across so badly. Um, PC Tech is doing an amazing new venture. Mm, mm, mm. I need to find your channel. Oh, whoops. I had this issue earlier with it not coming up. There we go. There you are. Um, the channel is called Brickable Hours, which I love. Um, uh, so please go over and subscribe to join in the fun. The first video goes live on the 31st. He's currently building up a bit of a catalogue to release daily, which is really exciting. He is building a reality review city with everyone and everything. Um, it's like it is just amazing. So please, please, please go and sign up, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications because that's gonna be a lot of fun. I designed my little Lego piece today. I'm very disappointed that I couldn't get it, uh, with purple hair. Although at the moment, this is a nightmare and I need to do something about it. Um Thank you very much for the hearts, Zayden. Thank you, Rick. It is therapy for all of us, Yvonne, and that is the point. You know, this isn't a substitute for medical professional help. Again, the information is in the description. If you are in crisis, in distress, please contact the Samaritans here in the UK. Um, and there is a link down in the description for the US equivalent. Please do reach out and talk to someone. But this is definitely a good accompaniment to therapy. At least we found Wally for the Americans in watching. That's our version of Waldo. We have Where's Wally? I'm not quite sure why they changed it. Yvonne has done, Woot Woot, I grew up on Legos. I love Lego. I wasn't allowed to play with it when I was a kid, childhood trauma. But now my kids are old enough, I love having Lego. Legos in the house, it's amazing. Um, mm. Uh, Thanks for the share of my new channel. Anytime. Anytime at all. We are here to work together to boost each other up, and be there for each other, and I believe in you. I believe in both of your channels. I'm really looking forward to seeing the videos on Brickable Hours, um, but I believe in what you do with PC Tech Radio, and I believe in what you do, with reality review, and it's the same with Saden and the Gorshes. I believe in, what they do, and I believe in Gina, what she does with Loopy Miracle. This is it is about boosting each other. I love what A Pair of Dingoes are doing, um, with the gaming and the inclusivity and the fun going on there. So, it is, um, really and it's about boosting each other, um, and when you believe in someone, um, it is really important to let them know in life and, uh, be comfortable with being uncomfortable and with saying stuff like especially as Brits, we don't share our emotions. We don't talk about the stiff upper lip and, all the rest of it. What? So, we need to normalize this idea of pouring out our love for each other. Um, it is so important. Even over, like, a camera, it is really important to feel that love. I've done a video on this. Um, Words are free, but emotional hugs are eternal. And every time someone subs or gives you a thumbs up, that is one person saying, "I believe in you." That is one person saying, "You're doing a good job." And it's really important that we share that. Zayden and Legos, you are welcome. You deserve all the love too. Thank you. I do feel it. I really, really do. Yvonne grew up on Lego. That must have been really uncomfortable because standing on one is really painful. Rick has, subbed, which is excellent. Steve in his best announcer voice. Craft Political, it's a friend to talk to. I like that. I like that a lot. Um, Mum and dad only hug because I do. That's really sad, but it is nice that they have made that kind of connection and commitment. Um, I'm quite a huggy person. If I know someone and I feel safe with them, I'm quite a huggy person. Um, mm, mm, mm. Oh, it's like subliminal messaging. I am, you know, the mysterious Andy. I am in control. I'm not, not even of my own life. Um, yeah, I'm quite a huggy person. Again, like you, it was a difficult situation. My mum was huggy when other people were around. When other people weren't around, she wasn't as affectionate. Spicy 80s style childhood. Um, and I've always been huggy with friends. Friends became my chosen family. But with my kids, we hug a lot. That's what my eldest came in for. She wanted a cuddle. And it's really nice that she wants to cuddle me. She wants to be close. Um, both of my kids give the best hugs. Um, but it's, you know, that comfort is something that they really seek, and I really love giving. Um, uh, we do have a hive mind. There's a lot of people in our community here that have very similar thoughts and, similar backgrounds, similar situations have happened to us. Um, and we all think the same. We're great minds think alike, Steve. That's what it is. That is what it is. So I think I've talked your head off enough, haven't I, really? Um, hold on. Leaning into the camera, how close can I get? Um, doo, doo, doo. is, um that's not what I expected. Um, uh, 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 sorry, I'm gonna put some links in the chat for all of the people that I love, that I recommend following. Um, so there is Zayden. If you don't know who Zayden is, he is an amazing, very sweet and lovely guy who does games every Saturday. It is just pure um pure fun. It gets silly, which is exactly what you need on a Saturday night. You need that laugh, and that wildness. It's also about flexing your brain muscles because we play games. And honestly, my favorite game is like games of Wheel of Fortune and that kind of thing. Um, but it gets silly and wild. You have Loopy Miracle who talks about what it's like living with chronic illness, which is, it's hard, and more people um, should really educate themselves on that kind of thing. But Gina talks about it in a very honest and open way. And why is that not coming up? Um, and I love her for that. She's breaking down the barriers and the awkwardness. And I, as someone who is, you know, disabled and has health conditions, I really appreciate her work on that. This is um, PC Tech Radio, all about computers and technology. There's some Warhammer stuff on there, which is like the creative outlet. Uh, Definitely worth looking him up. Um, uh, Sorry, uh, trying to find the next channel. Apparently, I am getting better at this, typing and looking at other stuff and talking. It's a slow burn though. It's a real slow burn. We also have reality review, new content coming soon. That's what all of the D&D stuff is. If you've ever watched or heard of Critical Role. Sorry, my brain went dead then. Critical Role, it's their version of it, and it's gonna be brilliant. I cannot wait for that to come out. Um, and there's me saying, um, that I'm getting better at this. Am I getting better? Um, why isn't this coming up? The 7 in the middle of a word. Um, why is it not coming up? No, might be my connection. Ooh. And I think last but not least is a couple of dingoes, um, which is art, digital art and gaming. Really good, intelligent chat. And that is something that I really enjoy. Also a little bit snarky, there's some sarcasm, I love it. Also check out Dingo's Girl GT on Twitch. And, and check out her merch store too. I am saving up currently. There is a T-shirt that I really want, so I'm saving up for that. No thanks needed, PC Tech. No thanks needed at all. Um, no thanks needed for the plug. It is about lifting each other up and looking after each other. Thank you very much for the heart, Zayden. I do appreciate that. Um, but it's not necessary. I do it because I want to. I do it because I believe in you. Loopy Miracle, we are bold and brave talking about some conditions that many don't know how to approach. Yeah, but it can be therapeutic to find out you're not alone in the medical challenge. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of crossover. There's a lot of symptoms that you, me, Yvonne, other people experience, and I think it's really important that we talk about it. Not in a poor me way, because none of us are like that, but in a kind of I'm educating, I'm showing. Um, and, people who don't have these conditions or people who are trying to care for someone who has a similar condition, um, need somewhere to go for information. Those people need support as much as the person with a condition. And I think between us, all of us, that's what we're in it for, isn't it? Is to help both people with a condition and people around them understand and provide a space where people can ask a question that may seem insensitive, or may be insensitive because they don't know how to phrase it any better, and they don't want to upset the person that they're caring for or the person that they know with these conditions. And I would like to encourage people, be as kind as possible, but ask the question. If you know it's gonna sound blunt or it's gonna sound terrible, just say, "This is gonna sound bad, but," so that we know that it's not on purpose and it's a good faith question. But we do like questions. Um, yes, it does take one warrior to know another. Absolutely. And Yvonne and Loopy, you are warriors. You absolutely are. All of you are. Everyone that is here is a warrior. Everyone has dealt with, is dealing with, will deal with something. And you are here for solidarity, for support, for education, for understanding. And honestly, I salute you. I really do, because um, you know that there's gaps in your knowledge. That's a really powerful thing. You also know that you want that support, which is really powerful. You know, coming to a channel like this can be as hard as picking up the phone, and calling a doctor, or, phoning for help or something, but typing it into Google, if that's how you found this, or getting a notification and being here, um, is you looking after yourself and you looking for a way to improve your situation, whatever that is. And we are here for it. We are here to cheerlead you on. Um, and it's important that you know you're not alone. Look for that outer wisdom. But remember, you have a lot more answers than you think you do. And shutting out that noise to be able to hear that little voice inside you, the one that other people may have yelled down, the inner critic has told to shush. It's hearing that little voice inside of us that says, "I know the answer. I can help." Um, uh, right. Last check of uh, messages. So we've overrun slightly, but if there's anything else you want to add, now's the time to do it, because we're gonna close off in a moment. Loopy Miracle says, "Yes, the awareness that many don't know about." Yeah. Um, that behind closed doors, what is your friend, family going through? Not only is it not just the healthy days. Love Loved ones want to and can be supportive with more knowledge. Yeah, absolutely. The more you know, is what it comes down to. There's an awful lot of friends and family members who won't go and research the conditions that we have, or, think they know when they don't. And there is a huge amount of power in coming to a channel like this or going to a channel like yours, Loopy, and, listening. Um, you know, the power of saying, "I don't know, please teach me. I have questions, can you help me?" is huge. Not only does it help the person who is on the outside of the physical or mental condition, but it also gives them more knowledge to be able to support other people. The amount of people that kinda go, "Oh, ADS isn't anything, you're just a bit bendy." You know, it is way more than being bendy. Like, most of the time, yeah, there's a lot of bendy, but it's also, partially dislocating things, trapping nerves most days, picking up a cup and overextending a joint, catching my kid from falling and I overextended over 20 joints and pulled a bunch of or, aggravated a bunch of tendons and ligaments and everything else. Um, it's not fun. It's not fun. Um, but to most people on the outside, there's nothing wrong with me. Education is key. It really is. It is the only way for us to learn, evolve, and get off the planet, you know? Embrace the chaos, embrace the fear, embrace being a work in progress. 'Cause I really do genuinely think that that is the key to improving our lives and being happier is, you know, embrace the suck and use it, embrace the fear. Punch it in the face and then embrace it and take it with you, use it as a catalyst. Um, uh, I've gotten comments, "Never knew that, never looked at it that way." Yeah, offering a different perspective and people being receptive to that is huge. You are doing an amazing job. You really, really are, and it's, just getting those comments, if you just reach one person, and this is something that I really hold dear, if I just reach one person, if you just reach one person and improve their life, that is amazing. If we all reach out and hit help one person, then we are doing a good job. I mean, I'm not saying harm everyone else, I'm just saying, if you manage to improve someone else's life with knowledge, with compassion, with whatever you have, it's huge. It really is. Um, so I would like to thank all of you for being here. Thank you so much for sticking with me, um, all the way through. A lot of rambling. I hope you've had value out of this. Steve has basically summed up my whole 2-hour video, 2-hour live, struggle to strength and transformation. Yeah, learn to evolve. Be open to wisdom. Um, oh, wow, this one hits hard, Yvonne. This one hits hard. When I got ill, the only people who stayed around was one friend and my kids. Mum and dad are there for me now, my brother, but it was hard when they all left. Yeah, I lost everything when I got sick. I lost everything. Um, and that was harder than dealing with the condition itself. It is hard to pick yourself up for that because it's like they're blaming you for being sick or they don't believe you, and both are really bad. I am sorry you went through that. I am so glad that you have your parents back and that you have found a community that accepts you as who you are. Um, uh, I am sending you love. I'm sending all of you love. I hope you have a great weekend. Enjoy. Um, do something that is good for you. Do something that makes you happy. Get creative and look after each other and yourself until we talk again next week. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you soon.